You're watching Beyond Your Backyard Now with Erik the Travel Guy for Monday, May 11th, 2020.
Your ray of sunshine in the proverbial darkness we're all experiencing is back once again with you on Monday. Happy Monday, May 11th. I am Erik the Travel Guy. If you've never seen the program before, let me break it down for you real quick. This program, it's 30 minutes in duration. We do it every week here on YouTube. It's all about where to go, what to do, where to stay, how to get there, what to eat, and how to do all of this safely in the hopes of getting the most out of your next vacation. And certainly for those of us that can't afford to get that next vacation wrong. And we may not know exactly when that next vacation is going to take place, but I can tell you there's some very positive news that's coming out of travel this week. We're going to talk about that on today's program, and those are indicators that we look for. And so that's starting. We're starting to see the states open up. And look, I also am totally sensitive to the fact that a lot of us are facing some serious economic hardship. So let this program be a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of escapism every week, because let's face it, we're going to get through this, and this too shall pass. And I realize we got the new killer hornets have arrived now. For those of us here in the Northeast, the polar vortex swooped down and gave us a little tap on our tushies here. It's always nice to see snow in May, but it was Mother's Day on Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to those who celebrate. And by the way, everything that we discuss here on this program, there's a really dedicated team of professionals that work every week, and I'm so humbled by their efforts. I'm so proud of them. There they are. You can see them. We're probably at one of our riveting 10 o'clock meetings there. Everything that we discuss here is all part of the vacation ecosystem. And if you're not familiar with what that is, I've given a little definition to it, and I want to throw that up for you real quick to show you. The vacation ecosystem is all phases and facets of the entire travel experience, including planning, going, and sharing. And that is exactly what we talk about each and every week on this program, as it is on YouTube. We encourage you to make comments, subscribe to our channel. Please do that. We have an amazing show lined up for you. Erica Richter is going to be here. She's going to tell us why we now more than ever need a travel advisor. So she's going to join us in a little bit. Also, we've got a killer staycation idea. You're going to love this. It's pretty easy with the help of some friends out at Riverbench in Santa Barbara County. So I can't wait for you to meet them. And we have cruise news to discuss as what cruising may be like when we're able to cruise again. So we've got some experts, some expertise on that, as well as a little discussion about the national parks and other places. So I'm going to go take a seat at the desk. Why don't you slip into something a little more inspirational, clear your mind, focus, and take a look at this. That is still one of my favorite videos. If you want to see that video again, we upload brand new titles every day to YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's on our YouTube channel, Erik the Travel Guy. So, hey, subscribe to the channel while you're there. Maybe like it, share it with your friends, and you can serve as a source of inspiration for the promise of travel tomorrow. Well, speaking of which, the cruise industry had a banner year in 2019. Millions of people set out on vacations around the world. We were some of those people. And the industry itself, that's part of the vacation ecosystem, and we look at that industry for signs of what travel is going to look like in the distant or near future. That's why Don Bucalo is here. He is one half of the creative force behind EatSleepCruise.com. That's DB and his wife Heidi. He joins us on the Zoom. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Good to meet you. Thanks for having me on.
Who in their right mind would be planning a cruise now?
Oh, you're looking at one of them. I think, we're waiting we're waiting to see when we came back on a cruise. Of course, make sure it's healthy and safe, but I think there are plenty of people actually looking to cruise when the cruise lines are ready to sail, and again, it's safe to have people back out to sea.
Wasn't the cruise line fighting an uphill public relations annoyance, I would call it, already? Because it's very difficult to get people on a ship, and as you and I both know, once they get on one, they tend to come back time and time again. How are these lines going to survive now?
Well, I think you're right. I mean, first-time cruisers, once they get on a ship, which is a struggle to begin with, then they fall in love with it. And that's what happened to us. We did our first cruise together, and then we've just been cruising ever since, over 30 voyages together. But I think there's a couple of things that cruise lines can do. First, they can improve some of the health procedures and protocols that they already have in place. I already think they're pretty safe, but they can do even more to have people's confidence that they are safe forms of travel.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is going to be first securing people, letting them know what they're going to do from checking temperatures or making sure that everyone is healthy through questionnaires or other protocols, and then sanitation on the ships. But price is going to be the big thing. I think what they're going to need to do is lower the prices in the beginning, at least the cruise fares themselves,
sure,
and just get people back on board. And then through social media and through other means, people will see, okay, it's safe to go back on a cruise. I feel comfortable. It's an experience I expect it to be. And then slowly but surely, people will start booking more and more cruises. And then we'll get back to, it'll take time, but we'll get back to where we were before, with ships sailing at full capacity and then sailing in regions all over the world.
I'm glad you mentioned that word capacity, because it's worth noting that cruise lines are going to be faced, much like the airlines. Are they going to deal with capacity and their maximum capacity being at maybe 60%, 70%, 50% and call it full? Is that what they're going to have to do to keep the number of people down on that ship, just for a public confidence move?
I think so. We have no insider track, right? We're just going with our own experience. But yeah, if you look at what they're doing for restaurants or what other entertainment venues like Disney World or some of the other places are saying, I think limiting capacity to 25 to 50%, depending on where you are. That's what a lot of states are saying for like restaurants, for example. I think that's what they're going to have to do at first, right? And however they spread that out, whether they only have balcony and maybe ocean view rooms available and no insides, or they space out every other room, however they organize it on there structurally, I do think they're going to have that reduced capacity.
Well, and this begs the question, if, of course, you can always book a cruise directly with the cruise line, but a lot of people are using travel advisors. Consumers now may want to look again at enlisting the help of an advisor, a qualified advisor who can say, I'm looking at the industry as a whole, not just one family of brands. Maybe now is the time to really look into using an advisor.
Oh, we always recommend to have a cruise advisor. I mean, we still book with one most of the time for our trips that we book personally. So this is better time than ever, because they can also walk you through all the different procedures, because they have improved cancellation policies. That's one thing I think many of the cruise lines are doing, recognizing that people are still uncertain. So giving you basically up to 48 hours before your cruise to at least get a cruise credit or a gift certificate. I think having a travel advisor now will let you know, well, this is what this cruise line is doing, because most of them are going to be going to the same places. And there are differences across brands, but also to ease people's concerns about, well, this is what this brand is known for. Here's what your protection policy would be. Here's this other brand. But yeah, I mean, we always recommend having a travel advisor, but I agree with you. Now is probably, if you've never had one before, it's definitely time to pick up the phone or go online and find one.
One of the videos we are taking a look at here, and we've looked at here on this program, is the 15 ways the cruise industry is going to be different or is going to be forever changed based on this pandemic. What are the top 3, in your opinion, that you're going to see almost immediately?
The boarding procedure. So they're going to be probably doing temperature checks when you get on board, probably at embarkation day, but also at the ports of call. And this is not just for passengers, but also for the crew. The second one will be social distancing, I think, on the ships. And that's going to be the biggest logistical nightmare, or at least the biggest issue that they're going to have to deal with, is how can we ensure that people have the same experience in the restaurants and entertainment venues, but also keep a safe distance. So that's going to be more about timing and what do they do and when do they do it. And then I think the third will probably be, you'll be seeing staff, at least initially, probably wearing masks. And there might be a suggestion to have passengers wear a mask, which we would be all for. And there's already a lot of cleaning, hand washing, and proper sanitation on the ships. There'll be more of that kind of coincide. They'll have more hand sanitation stations throughout the place, and you'll see more staff regularly cleaning high traffic areas. So those would be probably the 3 things you'll see right away.
Washy, we hear
washy, you know it, yeah.
Every deck.
They will need to figure out how do we structure things. I think the one area we're really interested in seeing is kind of the dining room experience, because that's one of the big things I think about cruising is eating. And how can you have that same experience when you have to have social distance and tables spread apart and still cater to, even if it's 1,000 people or 1,500 people, and do it in a timely manner? So they'll figure it out. Like you said, they're forward thinking. There's a lot of great technology on ships too. So they already had a lot of touchless types things. That probably will expand. So it's less taking a card out, less transactions with your hands, and less touching of things. So we'll probably see that happen in a few months too.
DB, thank you for this. I really appreciate you taking the time, and you're always welcome.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my friend. And if you've got a cruise comment or question, please feel free to leave them right here on this video. If it's a question, we will try to answer it. We love cruising, of course. And we head from sea to land. That could be something you comment on as well, which is, here's our question of the day. What is the next national park you'd like to visit? There you go. Could be a state park as well, but the National Park Service, of course, overseeing all of our national parks here in the U.S. And it's a good subject, I think.
Here we go with the parks already. You're not really talking about parks, are you?
Hold on, wait. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, our senior segment producer, Randy, has chimed in. Randy, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Cue the open, boys.
Oh, I love the graphic. Okay, all right, hold up. Wait. I'm sorry, what, do you have a problem with the national parks, Randy? I mean, come on, these are...
Well, you know, do you have a problem with public safety? I mean, like many things in life, they're not exactly as they seem, Eric. The national parks, like most places, are riddled with hazards.
Randy, there's like, I don't know how many are there. There's like 61 national parks in the United States. What's the...
Oh, sure. We have all these parks, but, you know, there's no privacy.
I think there's like 52 million acres that are governed under the National Park Service. I mean, that's a lot of space here.
Yeah, I suppose so, but over 300 million people visited the parks in 2019. That's the 3rd highest total in over 100 years.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that high. I mean,
you're going to be rubbing elbows with every Tom, Dick, and Harry around. I got broad shoulders. I like to stretch out. You know what I mean? I don't want to do this.
Even 300 million people.
Ignorance is bliss, I suppose. You know, what about the more obvious dangers, like 4th-degree burns?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? What did you say?
4th-degree burns. Have you ever been to the Hot Springs National Park, the pride of Arkansas? This is the place where you bring your family to cook them like a stew.
That's not true at all. I don't think it gets that hot, Randy.
Yes.
I think you're going to be...
It's very hot. I'm sorry. Am I on an MTV's Jackass, or am I just being interviewed by one? How can you be so blind, sir? It's in the names, Eric. The Badlands? Was the good lands taken? Death Valley National Park. They're not even hiding it. They're not even attempting. The Petrified Forest in Arizona is just that, petrifying. It is one of the scariest places on earth.
How about the Rocky Mountain National Park?
Colorado Rockies. Colorado Rockies. The Continental Divide runs right through the Rocky Mountains. Isn't this country divided enough, Eric? You're going to send us there? Don't be a sheep. This is ridiculous. You can't name me one good national park to go to without a hazard.
Oh, okay. Okay. The latest park was like a year ago, Indiana Dunes. It's gorgeous on the shore of Lake Michigan. You can't possibly have a problem with that.
Well, unfortunately, I have seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Dunes, and I'm all set with eating monkey brains and being chased by giant runaway boulders.
I
Okay,
don't think that's
so
an
go
issue.
enjoy your Lake Michigan shoreline. I'm done.
Very good. Fine. Do you have a close too while you're at it? Do you
No,
have
I
it ready?
don't. Just again, don't touch anything. All right,
It's the same thing. Okay.
Colorado Rockies.
I'm not sure why. Hi, I'm Erik the Travel Guy. Today, we're in Washington State, and for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you around the Olympic Peninsula. Let's go.
The Olympic Peninsula is located in western Washington. It's the large arm of land situated across the Puget Sound from Seattle. It's bound on the west by the Pacific Ocean, the north by the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and in the east by the Hood Canal. The Olympic mountain range is in the center of the peninsula, and it's home to the highest peak, Mount Olympus. Small towns dot the drive around the Olympic Peninsula like pearls on a string, each having its own special vibe. And there's a culinary loop to follow for scrumptious seafood like Dungeness crab and farm-to-table local cuisine. You'll find tasty beverages on the cider route around Port Townsend, the historic Victorian town with a long maritime history.
Those of you wishing to up your Olympic Peninsula getaway, well, I suggest a two-nation vacation, and here's how to do it. Stay here in Port Angeles for at least a couple of days, and then take a day trip right over to Victoria.
It's safe to say you will need a car when you're here, and simply driving around will give you a sense of perspective. This is a large peninsula, and if you're curious where to start, I say start at the Olympic National Park.
If seeing is believing, then my friends, consider me a believer.
It spans nearly 1 million acres with 73 miles of coastline and represents 3 distinct ecosystems in 4 different regions: glaciated mountains, subalpine forests and wildflower meadows, temperate rainforest and rugged Pacific coastline, and they're all beautifully present. A couple of my must-dos are hiking at Hurricane Ridge, which showcases a stunning vantage point of the area, and exploring the vast Hoh and Quinault rainforests that are among the great wonders of the Olympic Peninsula and offers plenty of opportunities to practice forest bathing, which has wonderful health benefits.
So I was thinking, we may have run out of time in this video, but the time is now for you to plan and take your next unforgettable vacation to the Olympic Peninsula. I'm Erik the Travel Guy. That's what I got. Thank you for watching Beyond Your Backyard Now for Monday, May 11th, 2020. There's a little more information about the vacation ecosystem we're talking about this week, as we will continue to do so. As a matter of fact, we're so passionate about this, we made an entire video about it. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. We go in depth on the planning, the going, the sharing. You might want to leave a comment or share it with your friends. Oh, and by the way, if you do choose to leave a comment, you're automatically registered to win a $250 gift card to restaurant.com. We'll announce this week's winner later on. Also later on, I've got a fantastic staycation idea. You won't want to miss that. In the meantime, you may have heard what a travel agent is, but you may not have heard what a travel advisor is. Well, we have Erica Richter, who joins us once again from the American Society of Travel Advisors. Let's roll the graphics, everybody. Erica, thank you for being here and welcome back.
Thank you, Erik. I'm glad to be back.
The first thing I'd like to know from your perspective, here you are on the proverbial front line talking to these advisors every week. What's travel going to look like?
Travel is not going to be DIY. I truly believe that the future of travel is going to have a strong emphasis on the travel advisor, because there are going to be so many rules and regulations, and those are going to look different from country to country, from popular attraction to popular attraction. And travelers looking to explore the world again will want to have the advice of a professional who can talk them through all of those updates. And then if anything goes wrong, they have somebody in their corner who can be their advocate. So I do believe that the future of travel is going to have a bright spotlight on the travel advisor.
Where do you think these rules and regulation changes are going to occur? Do you think it's going to be industry-wide?
It's going to be industry-wide. It's going to be in every aspect of travel, from cruise to air to tours to popular destinations, it's going to look different. And we're going to see travel rebound domestically first, the drive to first, and then the fly to. And the advisor is going to help along every step of the way because they are connected to the industry suppliers. They will have the best information at the tip of their fingertips because hopefully they're all ASTA members and we're providing that to them. And they're going to be able to facilitate travel and make the travelers feel confident, because what we've seen from this past experience with the pandemic, travel advisors worked around the clock to bring hundreds of thousands of Americans home. That was their job. And we saw them in action. I saw them in action. And could you imagine being on your own, trying to do it on your phone? And so those who were wise enough to book with a travel advisor, they had that extra layer of support that really helped them in a time when they needed it the most.
Well, I'm really glad you mentioned that because, again, we're talking about online here all the time. And the face of the advisor has really changed over the course of what, the last decade?
Very much so. And social media has played a role in that. The new generation of the travel advisor that's shepherding in, that we're helping shepherd in, they're on social media, they're on Instagram, they're producing really attractive travel content, and then they're offering their followers the option to book with them. So this new generation of the travel advisor and the millennial, young Gen X era, they're really turning to social media a lot. But even some of our long-standing travel advisors are doing that as well, because the brick and mortar has shifted. Right. And it's shifted in another interesting way too, is because we've also seen the remodeling of how brick and mortar travel agencies look. And we'll have to have a whole new segment on that, because we've seen some amazing transformations in brick and mortar as well. So it just doesn't look, the travel agent that some people have in their minds, it's just, that's not what it looks like.
It doesn't look like that anymore. I mean,
no.
The question that begs the question is, does everyone need an advisor?
Yes.
Well, of course you're going to say yes, Erica, give me a break. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, actually the devil's in those details. And it's not so much about, no, you may not need to have your hand held. Some people do, myself included, but some people don't. They want to be left alone. They want to do their thing. But there's so much more out there that you really don't know about and couldn't possibly find on your own. That's where the advisor really comes in.
Anyone who's even curious about working with a travel advisor, come visit us, the American Society of Travel Advisors. We can connect you to one. We can help you explore what that relationship is like. And I think that many Americans think that travel advisors are not accessible for them. Right. And, there are Americans that have that, one vacation a year if they're lucky. And, if those travelers are in that category, don't risk it. If you're doing Disney World for the first time with your two children, please call a travel advisor. They can help. There are travel advisors that specialize in how to manage Disney vacations and cruise bookings, and they are more affordable than you think, and sometimes free. Yeah. So we want to make sure that people know that there's a travel advisor for everybody. And while money is going to be tight for some, there are travel advisors that can put down deposits for you, that can spread payments over time. They can book you for 2021, 2022, so that you have something to look forward to. They can chat with you as many times as you'd like along the way to make sure that you're not giving up on those travel dreams, because travel is so important for all of us.
Well, now you're going to make me cry on my own show, and I can't hide it because I'm on the camera box. So, Erica, I couldn't agree more. Thank you for returning, coming back and hanging out with us. Will you come back again?
Anytime.
The subject is how to host your own wine tasting during your next staycation. I have the answer for you. We're going to tell you exactly how to do it. That's why Laura Boris is here. She's the CEO from Riverbench Vineyard and Winery. Laura, it's good to meet you, and thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you too.
how does someone do a wine tasting at home when they don't know what they're doing?
Well, I think the really key thing is to pick a wine that you love. It doesn't matter what varietal, it doesn't matter what winery, but if you love that wine and you want to talk about that wine, choose that one.
And I realize I don't have a big glass selection here at the house, so this is what we're working with here. Smoky, kind of like my personality. Is there a right way to pour this wine, or can I pop it right in there?
I think you could pop it right in. Yeah, a little twist at the end just to keep it from dripping, but that's only if you want to get fancy.
You are so fancy, Laura, and I love that about you. Here we are. Years working at the Hard Rock Cafe. Are you going to pour one too, or what do I do? I got it in the glass. Then what happens?
Now you want to just swirl it just a little bit. Just get the air into it. Yeah, there you go. That's another thing for those wine tastings you were talking about. You can add your own twist. So it can be a wine and dance party, maybe. I don't know.
It's going to be a TikTok situation. I can feel it coming on any moment. The kids, they love that. Okay, so
yeah, for sure.
Now, did that actually do anything?
It just gets a little air into the wine, and that helps release the aromas. So when you do go to sniff it, you can smell it a lot better and get the flavors and the aromas a little more assertively.
What's the right way to sniff wine?
There's a lot of stuff out there about that. For me, what works best, just open your mouth a little bit, smell the wine through your nose, and enjoy it, because it doesn't have to be too serious.
I can smell California. I can smell Santa Barbara County. The good parts, of course. My gosh, that's amazing. Well, cheers. All right, so this is the Chardonnay. Right now, I have a spittoon. Now, we don't need that. Can I just drink it? It's okay?
Drink it. That's totally allowed.
Very good. I did just brush my teeth, so I don't know how this is all going to work out anyway.
Oh, give it a few tries. That estate Chardonnay has a little bit of oak on it, so it won't be a wimpy wine.
Oh, that is fantastic. Man, it is so smooth.
It's pretty, right?
What a great word. It's pretty. It's so pleasing. It's not, obviously, it's not bitter. I don't have any idea what I'm tasting, but I know what I taste, which is this is going to go down real quick. We're going to go to break shortly, and we may or may not get to the red. I don't know, but wow, that's really awesome.
My dad always said, don't connoisseur yourself out of the wine business. And I think, just do what tastes good to you. Really, that's the most important thing.
And those discussions, once again, they're very personal, not to, obviously, we poke a little fun at the notion of like, oh, I smell, whatever it is. There's no right or wrong on this. I mean, it's what your palate feels, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you may have a childhood memory of smelling fresh strawberries out, in your grandmother's garden or something that another person doesn't have. And so if a wine brings that up for you, then absolutely, it's super subjective. None of them are wrong. I mean, I'd like to say maybe some of the bad ones are wrong, but generally, I mean, people smell and taste what they smell and taste.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna. Will you come back and we'll taste something else on another visit?
Absolutely, I love tasting wine. This is perfect.
This day, and we need to come out and visit. People can, when it's safe to travel again, people can come out and visit, right?
Yeah, we have a facility in downtown Santa Barbara, but we also have a vineyard facility. So if you're feeling a little more wine country-ish, you can just come right up to the vineyard property and enjoy a picnic and the beautiful views. Either facility is great. We can't wait to be open again and welcome everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. Good to meet you. Thank you, Laura.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Oh, talk about a fabulous trip to Santa Barbara County. I can't wait. Thanks to Laura for this, by the way. We really appreciate it. And I wish we had time to run the full interview, but you can see that full interview on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Erik the Travel Guy. If you forget all that, don't worry. Everything that we talked about on the show, including the vacation ecosystem, is on our website at erikthetravelguy.com. Oh, here's the question of the week. Let's put that up real quick. What is the next national park you are planning to visit? And I don't know which one you're planning to visit, but I hope this music is a part of it, because this is nice. That's all the time we have. Congratulations to Kim M, by the way. She left a comment on our YouTube channel, said some very nice things. She's a flight attendant here in the United States. So you, Kim, just picked yourself up a $250 gift card to restaurant.com. And if you leave a comment or question this week, you'll be entered to win this week. So we'll talk about that next week. Whew, I'm already confused. My thanks to my guests, my thanks to the travel team. If you'd like a written transcript of today's program, I suggest you get a pen. Oh, what? That's one of my favorite jokes. It'll be the wine talking. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic week.
Hey guys, this channel is a celebration of all things travel, so hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment or question, share this video, like it, rate it, whatever. Believe me, it all helps. Thanks for watching.